Why do I do this to myself? Welcome back to the Wide Right Podcast, everyone. I'm Alex Angulo. And if you're looking at the date on the calendar, that's right. It is Wednesday, September 5th, 2018, or whenever you're listening to this, okay? Um, so we've got a couple of things to talk about. We got 5 schools that I think are overrated or just have something tainted because of, something that happened in the past. And a lot of people could call me salty, but fuck you. Then we're gonna take a look at not some of the college bowls, but some bowl games. Well, a bowl game. I'm gonna say this. We're talking about the Citrus Bowl. Ooh. And yeah, so that's it. I initially thought, it's just the Capital One Bowl. No, the bowl lost its thing a couple years ago. But now let's get to some of the biggest things that. Well, I'm just talking about college football scores, and we got a bit of a backlog here, okay? So here we go. Here's how I'm gonna do it. I've got everything highlighted, and I'm just gonna say this. If it's in green, it's a shutout. If it's in yellow, that means the team scored at least 60 points. If it's in cyan, it's because of one big reason, and that's it went to 100. Holy shit. Now, I'm going to put it over 60 because sometimes there's going to be a team that's going to be like, oh, look, I scored 60 points. Yeah. Oh, well. So let's get started. We got August 30th where we've got a couple of games and a couple more games on the 31st. And then the fucking floodgates open, okay? So here we go. I'm not going to do top performer, okay? I'm not even going to explain it. It'd be too much. I only did it for the 25th. And I'm only going to do if there's less than 5 games. Even 5 games I can do it. 4 or 5 games, I'll do it. More or less than that, more than that, and it's just going to drag on for too long. Okay. So on August 30th, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games. Okay? So here we go. We have Minnesota defeating New Mexico State 48-10. Louisiana Monroe defeating Southeastern Louisiana 34-31. Northwestern defeating Purdue 31-27. Wake Forest defeating Tulane 23-17. In overtime, Oklahoma State pounding Missouri State 58-17. Utah defeating Weber State 41-10. Texas A&M crushing Northwestern State 59-7. Just one more point, Texas A&M, and you would have avoided it. By the way, it's going to be regular games and shutouts, and then any game where a team scored at least 60 points. And then UC. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me see. I accidentally put I was just so exhausted that I accidentally put a D instead of an F. The defending national champion UCF Knights won 56-17, and then Ball State defeated Central Connecticut 42-6. Georgia State defeated Kennesaw State 24-20, and UC Davis pulled off the first upset, and a big one too, 44-38 over San Jose State. But even bigger, UC Davis is an FCS school. Okay, now there was a shutout, and that was University of Alabama Birmingham defeating Savannah State 52-0. Wow. All right, so there's that. Now, the 31st, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, including a rivalry game. You had Wisconsin, 4th ranked Wisconsin. By the way, UCF is 21st in the nation. Wisconsin, 4th ranked Wisconsin defeated Western Kentucky 34-3. 11th ranked Michigan State defeating Utah State 38-31. 13th ranked Stanford defeating San Diego State 31-30. Syracuse defeating Western Michigan 55-42. Had anyone gotten a field goal, it would have gotten the cyan mark, but it didn't. Eastern Michigan defeating Monmouth 51-17. Ooh, someone should have gone for a point, because then it would have been the perfect score. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Duke beats Army 34-14. Colorado defeats Colorado State 45-13. And Nevada crushes Portland State 72-19. Alright, now we get to the big slate. It's, holy crap, I don't know how many games, and I'm not even going to count, okay? Okay, so you have Alabama defeating Louisville. Top-ranked Alabama defeating Louisville 51-14 in the Camping World Kickoff. Clemson defeating Furman 48. Second-ranked Clemson defeating Furman 48-7. 9th-ranked Auburn defeating Washington State 21-16. 6th-ranked Washington 21-16 in a Chick-fil-A kickoff. Penn State defeating Appalachian State. 10th-ranked Penn State defeating Appalachian State 45-30 in overtime. 12th-ranked Notre Dame defeating 14th-ranked Michigan 24-17. 15th-ranked USC defeating UNLV 43-21. 16th-ranked TCU defeating Southern 55-17. 17th-ranked West Virginia defeating Tennessee 40-14. Boise State defeating Troy. 22nd-ranked Boise State defeating Troy 56-20. Official score for Maryland topping 23rd ranked Texas was 34-29. But to me, Texas won 29-0 because of what happened in the offseason with Maryland. If you didn't hear it, I said it, I believe, last week. I said it last week, that any games that Maryland wins, I'll count them as a forfeit because of what happened. Okay, now, where was I? There's so much cover here. Okay. 24th ranked Oregon defeated Bowling Green 58-24. Illinois defeated Kent State 31-24. Rutgers defeated Texas State 35-7. South Carolina defeated Coastal Carolina 49-15. Ole Miss defeated Texas Tech in the Advocare Texas kickoff 47-27. North Carolina State knocked off James Madison 24-13. Villanova beat Temple 19-17. Good basketball team. Oh my gosh. Houston defeated Rice 45-27. Boston College defeated UMass 55-21. Ohio defeated Howard, not Ohio State, 38-32. Pitt beat Albany 33-7. Kentucky defeated Central Michigan 35-20. Washington State defeated Wyoming 41-19. Iowa defeated Northern Illinois 33-7. Cal defeated North Carolina 24-17. Missouri defeated UT Martin 51-14. Arkansas defeated Eastern Illinois 55-20. Virginia defeated Richmond 42-13. Marshall defeated Miami, Ohio 35-28. Liberty defeated Old Dominion 52-10. Charlotte defeated Fordham 34-10. South Florida defeated Elon 34-14. Buffalo defeated Delaware State 40-10. Georgia Southern defeated South Carolina State 37-6. Louisiana beat Grambling 49-7. Arkansas State defeated Southeastern Missouri State 48-21. Tulsa won 38-27. I forgot who they beat. Central Arkansas. Yeah, let's see, alright. Louisiana Tech defeated South Alabama 30-26. Southern Mississippi destroyed Jackson State 55-7. Cincinnati defeated UCLA 26-17. Although I would have considered it an L because number 4 for Cincinnati, he was just kind of acting like a fool. Indiana defeated Florida International 38-28. Nichols defeated Kansas 26-23 in overtime. Kansas State barely squeaked out a win against South Dakota 27-24. Florida defeated Charleston Southern 53-6. One more touchdown, you would have gotten on the yellow list. Vanderbilt beat Middle Tennessee 35-7. North Texas defeated SMU 46-23. Northern Arizona defeated UTEP 30-10. Baylor defeated Abilene Christian 55-27. Arizona State defeated UTSA 49-7. And BYU defeated Arizona 28-23. Now, North Carolina A&T and East Carolina was postponed to the day of recording this due to bad weather. Akron and Nebraska, along with Iowa State and South Dakota State, were both canceled. The latter being canceled due to severe weather in Akron and Nebraska, Scott Frost's first season after leading UCF to their first national championship. Thank you, Coley Matrix. Because of lightning. Now let's get to the games that kind of blew us away. Ohio State crushed Oregon State 77-31, but I'm not going to count it as a win for Ohio State because we all know the Zach Smith situation. So Oregon State, in my book, crushed Ohio State 31-0. Oklahoma defeated 7th-ranked Oklahoma defeated Florida Atlantic 63-14. 18th-ranked Mississippi State defeated Stephen F. Austin 63-6. Georgia Tech shut out Alcorn State 45-0. Air Force shut out Stony Brook 38-0. Toledo crushed VMI 66-3. Ooh, just a field goal away. Prevent the field goal, you're on that list. Memphis defeats Mercer 66-14. New Mexico kills Incarnate Word 62-13. Fresno State puts up the most points, 79-13 over Idaho. And the big one, Hawaii crushes Navy 59-41. I ain't even mad, you know? You know that gif of Will Smith? Kind of like, I ain't mad. That's me, because, you know, it's Hawaii, okay? Okay, folks, that is it for that. There's only about 3 games left, but in fact, this is how I got it set up. I'm going to cover North Carolina A&T and East Carolina and Miami LSU in my next podcast. And I'm going to cover Virginia Tech and Florida State. How's this sound? The 19th. Well, I'll just pop it in Overflow, actually. Yes, that's right. What is Overflow, you ask? Overflow is just something that I'm doing, you know. Oh, well. Oh, my gosh. I feel like I've been going for a long time, man. But, you know, no big deal. No big deal. Whew. All right, then. So, 5 overrated schools. Ah, yes. The overrated schools. Here comes the salt, folks. Here come the salts. So, I consider these 5 schools overrated because of one reason or another. But I can also point, like, oh yeah, they had a controversy. For example, Alabama. National title game. Mickey Brown. A lot of people will say, oh, what does he have to do with Alabama? Alabama, that's why I yanked the national championship away from them, was because he punched a Georgia player. I was going to say Ann. I'm like, oh shit. But, you know, Georgia, if you punch a player and then you cause a sideline skirmish and then you don't dismiss him until after the game, you're only stroking the fire. My goodness. You know, Nick Saban says, oh yeah, I'm good. In reality, fucking suck, Nick. And I'm not an SEC fan that much. But I think that your decision to leave Mickey Brown, if he caused any problems, you should have just asked him to leave. And I think he would have been fine. Alright then. USC, well, we all know. Everyone's like, oh yeah, they're good. Problem is, though, Reggie Bush. That's all I'm going to say. Ohio State, we all know. If you don't, look up Zach Smith. Duke. Where do I begin? I'm going to say this. Duke had promise. But they threw it away for one big reason. They decided to, I don't know what else to say, but they decided to have one of the worst players, Mr. Trippy himself, not Charles Trippy, but Grayson Allen. And of course Stanford, for the refusal to recognize the game from 1985, I believe. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I think it's the big game. I think that's it. Yeah, big game. There we go. 1982. It's been what? 36 years since that infamous play. The play. You know, this is what happened. Okay, so if you don't know about the play, long story short, Stanford kicked off the Cal, did a couple laterals, and was it? Trying to think here. Was it who scored that last play? Wow. Alright, I'm trying to think here. I'm just trying to figure out who scored the play. Something. Oh, I saw Moen. Alright, trying to think here, who is it? In all honesty, Kevin Moen, there we go. I did not see it. So yeah. So here we go. So this is what happens. A couple of days after the what was it? I'm just trying to think here. Oh, this is a big one. This is why I'm not really that. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I've just been kind of researching as I'm recording. But so this is what happens. Whenever Stanford holds their act, these Stanford acts, they alter it in protest because of, why. 20-19. Whenever Cal has it, so that means, hey, it's the official score. No big deal. Okay? So, who currently holds it? Stanford. Oh, boy. Stanford, huh? Well, basically, the last time California had the axe, so yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna say that. That is just one of the stupidest things that you can alter something for. You know, you can alter the World Series for 2017 because of the Yuli Gurriel incident. You can alter, basically, kind of say, hey, he was down, but you know the officials didn't want to do anything in that vaunted stadium in Columbus, which has now been stained because of a certain you-know-who, I'm going to say. And that's going to be it for that, okay? Just avoiding controversy. Can't talk for shit today. Also, Zach Smith and Urban Meyer, I don't care what you do. I don't care how you do your shit. Go fuck yourselves, okay? Go fuck yourselves. Alright, now on to a very happier thing, just to end it. It's the review of the last 5 Citrus Bowls. Okay, I know a lot of you are thinking, wait a minute. Didn't you talk about the Capital One Bowl? Or don't you mean the Capital One Bowl? Yes, but here's the thing. The Capital One Bowl Capital One stopped sponsoring it Capital One stopped sponsoring it in 2014. And I'm going to review another bowl. But anyways, so the 2015 Citrus Bowl, if you call it by its official name, it's the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl. Here we go. So Missouri won 33-17 over Minnesota. No big deal. You know, Roderick Williams, 20-yard touchdown run. Minnesota's up 7-0 at the end of 1. Then Missouri gets closer after Andrew Baggett 21-yarder. Bud Sasser receives a 25-yard throw from Matty Mauk. Missouri's up 10-7. Baggett adds and that's how they go into halftime. Baggett bags a 33-yard field goal. No big deal. We're good. Max Williams gets a throw from Mitch Leidner, whatever. Goes 54 yards. Minnesota is up again, 14-13. Matty Mock goes for 18 yards. 2-point tries intercepted. Ryan Santoso ends the quarter with a 38-yard field goal to put Minnesota within 2. But that would be as close as they get. And at the end of 3, it's 19-17. Russell Hansborough goes crazy and runs for 78 yards, 26-17. Wowzers. And Bud Sasser goes for a 7-yard reception from Matty Mock, 33-17, end of the game. So, Missouri had 18 first downs, 64 plays for 434 yards, 45 rushes for 337 yards, 97 through the air, 12 of 19 for 2 interceptions, 30 minutes of possession. Minnesota, though, made it look interesting. 19 first downs, 66 plays for 373 yards, 33 rushing attempts for 106 yards, 267 passing yards, 22 passes on 33 attempts. And here's the interesting part. Missouri had 30 minutes and 5 seconds, 10 seconds more than Minnesota. So Minnesota made it seem like a football game. Even though they were being blown out, they kept it going. So that's the first one. Okay. So there were 2 games in 2016, so no 2017 Citrus Bowl. 2018. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Well, the Capital One Bowl is the last one. Okay. That's interesting. I don't fuck up. Okay. I thought, okay, so alright then. So now I gotta do this, but no big deal. just a little mistake. Because I saw 2019, I'm like, ooh, okay. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, alright. So, South Carolina, Wisconsin met in the last Capital One Bowl for now. Bruce Ellington, first play, 39 yards from Connor Shaw, 7-0 South Carolina. Sam Arneson, Jill Stave responds with a throw to Sam Arneson. 7-0 Carolina after one. Sam Arneson, boom, they're already up, they're already tied. Connor Shaw, Bruce Ellington responds with a reception from Bruce Ellington, but the 2-point conversion failed. And then Wisconsin to end the half, up 14-13. Jeff Duckworth, 3 yards from Joel Stave, 14-13. And then Jack Russell kicks through a 17-13 game. Connor Shaw throws to Bruce Ellington, 20-17 South Carolina. And then they pull away here. For now. At the end of 3, it's 20-17 South Carolina. Then Jarrell Adams gets 3 yards from Connor Shaw, 27-17. And then on the kickoff, Kenzel Doe decides, let's make this a game again, okay? 91 yards to the house, 27-24. But then Connor Shaw puts it out of reach with about 5 minutes left in the game. And 34-24. Wow, what a game. I'm probably just going to look that up afterwards, okay? But Jesus Christ, I'm going to say this. It's amazing just to hear what that is going on there. It's just, I'm sorry, okay. Was it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay then. All right. That's it. I was just looking something about. Okay. So Wisconsin had 21 first downs, 69 plays for 410 yards, 43 rushing attempts, 293 yards, 117 through the air, 16 passes, 16 out of 26 with 3 interceptions, 29 minutes and 26 seconds possession. Carolina had 20 first downs, but they had 60 plays for 438 yards, 34 rushing attempts for 117 yards, 321 yards through the air, 23 for 26, no interceptions. And they had it for 30 minutes and 34 seconds. And now we get to do back-to-back 20... we get to do back-to-back 20 one last time. 20-16 Citrus Bowls. Okay. Michigan played Florida, and Florida never got into it, okay? Drake Johnson ran for 4 yards, 7-0 Michigan. And then at the end of one, Treon Harris gets a touchdown reception from Antonio Callaway. That should be that, right? That means, okay, SEC doing well. Not exactly. Wait until Michigan. At the end of one, 7-7. And that's the closest Florida would get. Then Jake Rudock throws to Jehu Chesson for 31 yards, 14-7. Kenny Allen makes 21-yard field goal, 17-7. And that's how it is at the end of the half. Grant Perry, 3-yard touchdown reception from Jake Rudock, 24-7. Sion Homa, 2 yards for a touchdown. Kick is good. Drake Johnson gets an 8-yard reception from Rudock, 38-7. Well, 31-7 at the end of 3, 77 at the half, both Michigan. And then Kenny Allen, last play of the game, 41-7. That is your final. How about that, folks? That is your final right there. 41-7. Holy cow, man. Holy cow. I mean, that is just crazy. Michigan had 28 first downs, 77 plays for 503 yards, 46 rushing attempts for 225 yards, 270 through the air, 20 passes out of 31, no interceptions, and they had the ball for 38 minutes and 38 seconds. Florida had 14 first downs, 52 plays for 273 yards, 26 rushing attempts for 118 yards, 155 yards through the air, 10 passes, 25 attempts, and 2 interceptions, and they had the ball for a little over 21 minutes. So, could LSU help bring the SEC back to prominence over Louisville? Yes, sir. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Okay. Was Lamar Jackson's last game before, or next to last game before declaring for the draft? I don't know. But here we go. So Blanton Creek opened the scoring with a 24-yard field goal. And that's 3-0 at the end of one. Then second quarter is where it's at. Colin Header gets a 1-yard touchdown from Danny Etling, 7-3 LSU. Same play. Problem. Darius Geis gets it, 14-3. Then Lamar Jackson's tackled, and at the end of the half, Blanton Creek makes it 16-6, and that is that's probably the closest they'll ever be, other than being down 7-3 at the end of the start of the second half. Well, not the second half, second quarter. Blanton Creek. Then Darius Geis goes for a 70-yard touchdown run. Then it's just field goals. Colby Delahousie goes 42. Blanton Creek responds with 30. Colby says, here's the 25. End of game, and it's 26-6 at the end of 3. So, LSU had 20 first downs, 70 plays for 394 yards, 7 for 17 on third downs, 41 rushing attempts for 177 yards, 217 yards through the air, 16 throws, 16 out of 29 on 1 interception, 35 minutes, 38 seconds. Louisville, though, had 11 first downs, 62 plays on 220 yards, 2 for 17 on third down, 135 for rushing attempts for 67 yards, 153 passing yards, 10 for 27, no interceptions, 24 minutes, 22 seconds held. Wowzers. Just incredible. And then the most recent one, LSU comes back, I think with the same coach. Can they repeat their success? They are literally the defending Citrus Bowl champions. But let's see what happens. Okay. So Notre Dame comes in. First play of the game, there was no scoring in the first. First play of the game, Justin Yoon clocks a 46-yard field goal. Then Darius Geis, 20-yard reception from Danny Etling, 7-3 LSU. Then Justin Yoon responds with a 49-yard field goal. And then that's literally the score at the end of the first half, 3-0 Notre Dame. It's just a good defensive struggle. Then 3-7, 6-7. And LSU seemingly puts the game away with a 14-6. They're thinking, yes, we can repeat as Citrus Bowl champions. Darius Geis gets another reception from Danny Etling. And then Michael Young gets a 6-yard pass from Ian Book. 2-point conversion is good. Then Jack Gonsolin kicks us a field goal for LSU. And then near the end of the game, at the end of 3, by the way, it's 7-6. Near the end of the game, Ian Book throws a game-winning pass to Miles Boykin. That is your ball game. 21-17. Okay, so Notre Dame had 18 first downs, 61 plays for 370 yards, 33 rushing attempts for 154 yards, 216 yards through the air, 17 passes on 17 completions, 28 attempts, and 1 interception. 22 minutes, 28 seconds. LSU, though, had 75 plays for 399 yards, 42 rushing attempts for 170 yards, 229 through the air, 19 passes out of 33 attempts, 37 minutes, 32 seconds, and that's the score. So, probably soon I'll discuss I'll have a bowl special. I'm probably going to do it as a separate podcast on its own. I'll probably even devote a whole week to it. So yeah. So normally at this point I would say, hey, enjoy. Hope to see you guys next week, but I got a little something different. I hope you enjoy the Overflow, giving you scores from FCS Division 2 and Division 3. I'm Alex Angulo. I will see you guys next week. Hello everyone, this is Wide Right Overflow, where we bring you scores from FCS Division 2 and Division 3, if they've happened, and if not, well, no big deal. We got this, okay? Here we go. The Ncaa football scoreboard for the FCS. We've got teams that have already played, so that is no big deal, okay? No big deal, such as Duquesne losing to UMass, Rice barely beating Prairie View, and here we go. Couple of big games. North Carolina A&T defeats Jacksonville State 2017 with Zarek Cooper throwing for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns on 24-38 passing. Wagner beating Bowie State 40-23 with Amir Hall for Bowie State throwing for 365 yards, 1 yard for every day of the year, and 2 touchdowns on 30-47 passing. Chattanooga defeated Tennessee Tech 34-10 with Nick Tiano throwing for 318 yards, 2 touchdowns on 21-32 passing. Eastern Kentucky defeats Morehead State 49-23 with Lawson Page throwing 221 yards, 2 interceptions on 20 of 34 passing. Rhode Island squeaked out a win against Delaware here with Pat Kehoe throwing 202 yards, 2 touchdowns on 12 of 22 passing. Maine defeating New Hampshire here. Chris Ferguson throwing 199 yards for 2 touchdowns on 21 of 31 passing. Campbell defeating Chowan 49-26. Daniel Smith going 11 for 20, 260 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then we have Indiana State defeating Quincy 49-0. And Southern Illinois defeated Murray State 49-10 for Indiana State. Jalil Kilpatrick went 8 for 13, 84 yards. Murray State had Drew Anderson go 17 for 13 on 138 yards and 2 interceptions. And that's about it for that. A couple of games were already FBS. North Dakota defeated Mississippi Valley State with Christopher Fowler throwing 22 for 39 on 263 yards. And I'm just going to stick to the scores because I'm just exhausted. Samford defeated Shorter 66-9. Louisiana Monroe defeated Southeastern. Louisiana, I believe. Yeah, Southeastern Louisiana 34-31. And Idaho State defeated Western State 45-10. And sorry, I'm just looking at some scores. Lehigh defeated St. Francis, Pennsylvania 21-19. Colgate defeated Holy Cross 24-17. Dayton defeated Robert Morris 49-28. Jacksonville crushed St. Augustine 63-14. Georgetown beat Marist 39-14. Duquesne, after losing to UMass last week, shuts out Lock Haven 45-0. Butler defeats Youngstown State 23-21. Bryant defeats New Haven 41-31. North Dakota State defeats Cal Poly 49-3. McNeese defeats Northern Colorado 17-14. Eastern Washington defeats Central Washington 58-13. San Diego defeats Western New Mexico 38-9. Florida A&M defeats Fort Valley State 41-7. Norfolk State defeats Virginia State 34-13. Alabama State defeats Tuskegee in overtime 26-20 on a touchdown no less. Hampton defeats Shaw 38-10. And Western Carolina defeats Newberry 33-26. Sorry if there's like a little pause. It's because I'm looking at some scores and I see them already in the what is it? I'm gonna ask. No, I'm not gonna ask. I'm gonna skip some scores because I've already seen them in the FBS scoreboard. The Citadel falls short to Wofford 28-21. Sacred Heart defeats Lafayette 35-6. William and Mary beats Bucknell 14-7. Gardner Webb defeats Limestone 52-17. Lamar crushes Kentucky Christian 70-7. Houston Baptist defeats Southwest Baptist 49-7. I am holier than thou. Towson defeats Morgan State 33-10. Davidson defeats Brevard College 34-13. Tennessee State defeats Bethune-Cookman 34-3. And sorry, I'm just once again just skipping over. Stetson defeats Point University 48-7. Morehouse defeats Arkansas Pine Bluff 34-30. Alabama A&M defeats Miles 37-0. East Tennessee State defeats Mars Hill 28-7. Illinois State defeats St. Xavier, Illinois 46-0. North Alabama defeats Southern Utah 34-30. Texas Southern defeats University of Texas of the UTPB. I don't know. Sacramento State defeats St. Francis, Illinois 55-7. Montana defeats Northern Iowa 26-23. And William Jewell College and Drake's game was canceled because of inclement weather. Now we move on to Division II football, because we cover everything here at we cover everything here in terms of how we handle ourselves. Okay, so Division II, Westchester defeats Bentley 44-6. Southern Connecticut beats Gannon 35-31. Wayne State, Michigan defeats Walsh 31-0. 16th ranked Ashland loses to 4th ranked IUP 21-17. Charleston defeats West Virginia State 35-31. Grand Valley defeats Indianapolis 30-7. 14th ranked Grand Valley defeats 10th ranked Indianapolis. Pace beats Millersville 23-10. Well, it says 33-10. Top ranked Minnesota State defeats Southwest Minnesota 49-13. 25th ranked Ouachita Baptist defeats Northwestern Oklahoma 29-21. Ohio Dominican defeats California 28-23. Not the Cal that everyone knows. This is Division II, okay? Saginaw Valley defeats Alderson Brodus 45-7. 18th ranked Sioux Falls squeaks out a win against Concordia St. Paul 27-21. Southeastern Oklahoma defeats Southern Nazarene 35-0. Southern Arkansas defeats Arkansas Tech 38-0. Southwestern Oklahoma defeats Arkansas Monticello 49-35. St. Cloud just squeaks out a W over Mary 14-13. North Greensville defeats Tusculum 13-3. Urbana beats West Liberty 21-19. Virginia Wise falls to Glenville State 17-7. 17th ranked Winona State defeats Wayne State of Nebraska 41-28. 11th ranked Western Alabama defeats Lenoir Rhine 36-32. Wingate defeats Johnson C. Smith 36-0. Bemidji State defeats Northern State 38-17. 7th ranked Ferris State defeats East Stroudsburg 49-17. Minnesota Duluth crushes Minnow State 49-3. Minnesota Crookston defeats MSU. Well, Minnesota Crookston falls to MSU Moorhead 34-10. I think I already covered the Samford Shorter game. If not, Samford of the FCS crushes Shorter 66-9. Oklahoma Baptist beats East Central 27-26. 9th ranked Fort Hays defeats 19th ranked Central Missouri 20-16. 10th ranked Harding defeats Henderson State 41-17. I mentioned the Indiana State and Quincy game. Washburn defeats Lindenwood 27-14. Mississippi College barely squeaks out a W against Clark Atlanta 31-30. Missouri S&T defeats Eastern New Mexico 31-14. Nebraska Kearney defeats Missouri Southern 45-0. Emporia State defeats Northeastern State 34-7. 5th ranked Northwest Missouri defeats Missouri Western 28-6. Pittsburgh State defeats Central Oklahoma 21-7. 23rd ranked Pittsburgh State. Tarleton State defeats Delta State 44-13. That sounds like something you'd hear in the that sounds like something you hear in an army or a navy, be a war game or something. Just something militaristic. Texas A&M Commerce barely beats Texas A&M Kingsville in overtime, 37-36. Same for Oklahoma Baptist and East Central. Texas A&M Commerce ranked number 2 in the country in Division 2. Michigan Tech defeats Truman State 20-10. Guess Truman wasn't happy about that. And 3rd ranked West Florida defeats Carson Newman 19-9 in regulation. The overtime games, as mentioned, you had East Central and Oklahoma Baptist, and Texas A&M Commerce and Texas A&M Kingsville. And I believe those are it. I believe those are the only two. Yes, those are the only 2 overtime games in Division 2. Now we look forward to Division 3 football, and that is, well, some people may say the lowest of the low, but I don't think so. I think it's pretty cool because you're up there. Okay, Mount Union, top-ranked Mount Union crushes Rose-Hulman 54-0. St. Thomas crushes Trinity. 3rd-ranked St. Thomas defeats Trinity International 76-17. I believe I've covered that one. A 4th-ranked University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh defeats Carthage 20-9. 6th-ranked Brockport destroys Hobart 56-7. Frostburg State, 8th-ranked Frostburg State defeats Stevenson 34-7. 9th-ranked Wesley defeats 17th-ranked Delaware Valley 34-10. St. John's defeats St. John's. 11th-ranked St. John's defeats University of Wisconsin Stout 27-0. 12th-ranked Wisconsin Whitewater, I believe, beats Dubuque 38-6, and I was right with that. Greenville, Wartburg, 13th-ranked Wartburg crushes Greenville 73-13. 14th-ranked Wittenberg defeats Westminster, Pennsylvania 34-21. 15th-ranked Washington and Jefferson defeats St. John Fisher 37-12. 16th-ranked Wisconsin, I believe. Yes, Wisconsin Plateville defeats East Texas Baptist 59-44. 18th-ranked Wheaton, Illinois defeats Monmouth 32-7. 19th-ranked Johns Hopkins, they have a good lacrosse team, I hear, along with a good basketball team, defeats Randolph-Macon 63 to 20, not 21, 31. 20th ranked Trinity defeats Manchester 55-7. 22nd ranked Barry defeats Maryville 38 to 3. 23rd ranked Case Western Reserve defeats Rochester 38 to 10. 21st ranked Franklin and Marshall defeats Lebanon Valley 44-21. 25th ranked RPI defeats Allegheny 40 to 19. And now we go on to the non-ranked. Baldwin Wallace defeats Alma 63-21. Coast Guard defeats University of New England 33-7. Buena Vista defeats Hamline 39-27. Birmingham Southern defeats LaGrange 34-28. Trinity, Texas defeats McMurray 44-0. Rowan defeats Widener 41-34 in double overtime. Millsaps defeats Belhaven 18-3. St. Olaf defeats Crown 49-14. Utica defeats St. Lawrence 9-6. WPI defeats Anna Maria 54-0. Springfield defeats Western New England 42-21. Westfield State defeats Nichols 25-14. Milliken defeats Hope 25-21. FDU Florham defeats TCNJ 35-21. MIT defeats Becker 23-3. Who knew those nerds were good at football? Curry defeats Dean 44-41. Salisbury defeats Albright 48-14. Framingham State defeats Endicott 34-13. Morrisville State defeats Norwich 34-13. Bridgewater State squeaks out a W over Buffalo State 30-29. Ursinus defeats Bethany 34-13. Salve Regina defeats Worcester State 27-21. Sewanee defeats Kenyon 43-10. SUNY Maritime defeats Keene Maritime 36-8. NC Wesleyan defeats Thomas More 35-20. Merchant Marine defeats Misericordia 30-9. Union defeats Hudson 30-7. Prentice defeats Greensboro 34-13. My throat's getting dry already. Wabash beats Hiram 41-17. Cortland defeats Fitchburg State 51-14. Moravian shuts out Kings 24-0. Washington and Lee defeats Dixon in overtime 16-10. McDaniel defeats Catholic 27-10. Alvernia defeats Galati, whatever, 26-10. Mass Dartmouth defeats Alfred State 49-21. Shenandoah defeats Methodist 48-33. Alfred defeats Thiel 44-16. Susquehanna defeats Lycoming 38-7. Kalamazoo defeats Oberlin 24-7. Hartwick defeats Wilkes 28-24. Ithaca defeats St. Vincent 38-14. Concordia, Wisconsin defeats Finlandia 31-3. Plymouth State shuts out Castleton 38-0. Lawrence defeats Greenwich Hull 20-10. Otterburn defeats Ohio Wesleyan 10-7. Muskingum defeats Waynesburg 31-24. Grove City defeats Juniata 38-23. Bridgewater defeats Gettysburg 34-17. No address there. Albion defeats Defiance 59-6. Worcester defeats Bluffton 44-34. Wilmington defeats Earlham 49-7. Augustana defeats Coe 26-7. John Carroll defeats UW Stevens Point, which I believe is Wisconsin Stevens Point, 45-21. Eureka defeats Knox 49-26. Lake Forest defeats Wisconsin Lutheran 38-30. Augsburg defeats Ripon 31-28. St. Norbert defeats Aurora 16-7. Concordia Moorhead defeats Nebraska Wesleyan 28-3. Gustavus Adolphus defeats Martin Luther 32-30. Rockford defeats McMurray 35-12. UW La Crosse defeats Luther 52-21. Carroll defeats Lakeland 45-26. UW Eau Claire, sorry, I'm just on a roll. So defeats Loras 45-13. Bethel defeats Simpson 41-29. Southwestern Assemblies defeat Austin 37-28. Puget Sound defeats Claremont Mudd Scripps 45-35. Whitworth defeats Laverne 38-2. Ohio Northern defeats Adrian 34-17. Mount Joseph defeats Capital 59-21. Franklin defeats Benedictine 55-38. Central defeats Northwestern Minnesota 49-3. Williamette defeats falls to Simon Fraser 54-7. Emory and Henry defeats Ferrum 45-29. Christopher Newport defeats Southern Virginia 38-9. Davidson defeats Brevard 34-13. Marietta defeats Geneva 35-24. Center defeats Hanover 28-18. Heidelberg defeats Olivet 21-17. UW River Falls defeats Minnesota Morris 41-0. Washington U defeats Chicago 24-17. North Park defeats Anderson 28-13. Rhodes defeats Illinois College 21-0. Hendricks defeats Lyon 37-27. Iowa Wesleyan falls to Cornell 27-21. Southwestern defeats Denison 42-21. McAllister defeats Carleton 48-38. Occidental defeats Cetis Mexicali 20-0. Chapman defeats Pacific 36-6. Redlands defeats George Fox 20-12, and Arizona Christian defeats Sul Ross State 42-20. That, my friends, is Overflow. And yes, folks, it is on top of the original podcast that you're going to listen to, or you just listen to right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed Overflow. Yeah, that's about it. So, we will see you next time here on Overflow.